Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 6 of Tait Talks Podcast. Thank you so much for coming back. In this episode, I speak to Aniello Castellano. He was locked up from 2012 to 2014, and we are going to talk about what prison's like and the whole ordeal of that. So without further ado, Aniello, how the fuck are you, mate?
Not too shabby, mate. Yourself?
Pretty good. Thank you so much for coming on. It's
Thanks,
going to get cold soon. You're going to see your breath coming up when we speak. But let's get started into it because I have so many fucking questions for you, man. How did you go to prison and why? Like, what happened?
So I was just a bit of a silly bugger as a young man.
Yeah. How old were you?
I was 21 at the time, and I just made some homemade firecrackers.
Yeah.
And lit them off in a public space, public place at a festival.
Yeah.
And so the shrapnel hit a few people and caused a bit of a debacle, and
You got trouble?
got into bit of mischief. Yeah. Bit of a scallywag back in the day.
Yeah. So you're 20. What did you say? 21.
21 at the time.
21. You made the homemade firecrackers, and you set them off. Unfortunately, the shrapnel hit some people and hurt them.
Yeah. Yes.
Was it too, how bad was it?
One fella, I think he went to hospital and had to get some bad stitches and
Yeah.
And a couple other people that got little bits and pieces in them, they got removed.
So there was no. I'm not trying to make light of this at all, but there was no deaths.
Nah.
No, it was just a bit of fucking cosmetics works.
Yeah.
A bit of a shock, a bit of a bang. Some people got cut, and they had to get some, just patched up a bit. So it's not like it's a weird thing when people say they've been to prison. Most of us think automatically like this guy stabbed someone, this guy beat someone up. He beat up some chick. We automatically think the worst.
Mm.
But you were trying to have fun, and accidentally your firecracker went off and injured someone.
In essence, yeah. Like I was merely trying to create a bit of a ruckus with some loud noise, like usual firecracker.
Yeah, firecrackers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just mucking around.
Yeah, and look, I did time with people who were in for like 7 years for driving and texting and killing someone.
Yeah.
Type thing. There's heaps of blue collar sort of and people white collar sort of crimes that fucking people, just generally good people that like might get done for a bit of fraud or something.
Yeah.
Well, they're not like
deception.
They're not like psychopathic killers and shit.
Yeah, I think that is when people say that they've been to prison and stuff like that. Most people automatically think something really bad, but as yours is a pretty unique thing.
Well, the judges threw the book at me. No one should be doing this. If I make an example.
It's pretty interesting if you just got a different judge and he or she, used to muck around with firecrackers, was a bit of a larrikin when they were young. But if you've got some real straight edge motherfucker who's just like, nah, go to jail, do not collect $200. It's pretty. I understand what you did was wrong and people did get hurt, but it's one of those ones where it's wasn't your intention, and two, it's different if you walked up and king hit someone and they fell on their fucking head and you fucked them up. But unfortunately, I'm not saying anyone to do that. I'm just trying to fucking make what I'm just trying to say what the situation actually was.
No, I totally regret everything, and I just try to forgive myself at the end of the day and move on and keep do the right, be a good person.
That's all you can do, I guess. So when you set the firework off or firecracker, it hurt a couple of people. Then what happens next? How do you actually get caught? How do you get in trouble?
Yeah, so I sort of legged it from the area and didn't Jerry that anyone got shrapnel injuries until that later in that day, and then I sort of just went at full recluse for a fair few months, and then the cops started to get wind of what happened via Crime Stoppers, and one of the people someone saw it who was there and called the Crime Stoppers, and then they eventually formed a case and interviewed heaps of people and then gave me this brief, and they didn't arrest me even though they could have, which was lucky, and they just because therefore would have gone to remand. And right, anyway, so then they took me to the magistrates, and then I went straight to the county court, where it's a more specific or more it's a smaller courtroom, and it's more your court case is pretty much just you that day. Whereas in the magistrate, then they'll handle like 10 to 20 cases in a day, and then you're sort of perhaps better off going eventually adjourning to the county court, because then you might get a more specific case, or more of a focused judge. Because a lot of the time it's like 50-50, depending on, especially litigation with law, with going to court. With the judge, how this, apparently they did a study and like judges make better decisions after recess, after lunch, because they like got a bit of food in them and they tend to be a bit more chipper. And things like that, so it's like.
So you got 3-year sentence.
So
it was just you go to court, you get your court date. And
I also.
So did you get locked up before that, or
no, I didn't. I essentially went to court, then adjourned, then went to the county court, and then eventually he gave me the sentence, and then I went straight from the county court to the county jail underneath, and then they took me straight to I think I spent a week in the MAP, and then they in sort of remand.
What's
in a sense. The MAP's the Melbourne Assessment Prison. Basically, all prisoners go through the MAP.
So all Victorian prisoners would go there?
In essence, and they assess you what prison you're suitable for. Like, if you want to go protection, you can go if you're scared, or if you're a smelly dog or something, or you're a fucking skunk, pedophile, whatever it may be, policeman, or a bad policeman. Black Lives Matter, by the way, all like that. You can basically go to like Ararat, I think is a dog's prison, they call it.
Oh, really?
So
the prison in Ararat's for like pedophiles, rapists,
majority
cops. It's essentially the prison for prisoners. If they went into another main prison, they would get beaten to death or something like that. Is that right?
In essence,
so it protects them.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think it's medium security though. So it's like Adrian Bailey, like about earlier, he went straight to. He would have gone to the MAP, and then they sent him straight to Barwon apparently, and then he's in protection in Barwon, like SWAT type thing.
So for the people who don't know, and we'll touch on this a bit later because it does affect you. Adrian Bailey raped and murdered a lady in Melbourne, Jill Marr. Yeah, if you just swing it, there you go. And he obviously did the wrong thing because he's a piece of shit, and it affected the paroles at the time because they did like a royal commission or something like that into it, and it made everyone who was up for parole at the time, I believe, I could be wrong, it made them have to do more time until they figured it out, I guess.
They made people do violent offender courses and different and everyone who did any sort of violent offence or anything that's linked, like my charges were assault, reckless causing serious injury, and intentionally causing serious injury. That were my specific charges. That's why I sort of got a fair whack. And
so when
anything violent, then they will you'll if you don't do these courses, they'll keep you in. And
so you do those courses while you're in prison.
And then you get the certificate, and then you sort of clear to go.
Huh.
So,
which is good, I guess, to a certain extent. That
yeah, it makes sense.
people do learn.
A lot of people like dirty as in there, as you can imagine. You know, like you might be good. You know, you might be behave well and shit, but then
the new stuff got brought in, and you had to tick the boxes before you could get released.
Yeah, like my mate in there, his name's Stacey. And he actually, funny enough, he lived with a guy named Courtney.
Okay.
And they're like probably the two biggest lads in Darringale.
Yeah.
At Darringale prison, and but they're in the same. You know? And I called him. I called him out one time because he was trying to bag me out about something, and I was like, I want to get a real name. Yeah. So I was just when I ended up making friends with him. Cause I've been with him so long. Yeah. He wanted to bash me because I just fucking called him out in front of everybody. I put him on show in front of everyone, and he's like, "Come on, we'll go for a walk on." Like, come for a walk. What do you mean? Like fucking so little cheeky, shit in the side, and people don't go for a walk with him. And I'm like, Anyway, we became good after that. People, it took me a while to work it out. You think it's like an all boys school in there. In a way. But with people who can and will stab you. Yeah. And if you say the wrong thing, you got to say
how. So we'll go back into that. So you got So you get, I suppose, you got the 3-year sentence. Then you went into the maps and stuff. Yep. You came to jail, whatever it was. Then, so where's your actual first point? What's the jail that you go to at the very start? But it's not processing or anything like that. This is where you're going to be for 3 months, 2 months, whatever.
Also, initially the county court, then processing, then the map, and then the first one I went to was they decided, because I was doing over a year, they decided to send me straight to Port Phillip, which is max. They call it Port Putrid. Okay. It's a bit hooly dooly. It's a bit raw dingo. So it's not it's not like the crash hot. Yeah. They say the Barwon, Barwon's nice and new, and next door Margarine's like the Hilton, and he's more pleasant. But
so this
I
is
didn't
max,
mind it.
This is max security.
This is max.
So this is with murderers.
Well, my first...
all that type of shit.
Yeah,
the bad motherfuckers.
Yeah, so they put me into my first cell. I had a single cell, which was lucky. Yeah. And I was in Scarp South. You start off at Scarp South, which is the most fucked unit in Port Phillip. And then if you're there long enough, you work your way to Scarp North, perhaps, or the other back units. If you get a job in the kitchen, perhaps, for instance. But then,
what are the jobs that are in prison? That say for that prison, what could you do? So as you said, you cook.
For Port, so a bit different at each one. For Port Phillip, you got nuts and bolts, which is for screwing nuts and bolts for Bunnings. In
so the nuts and bolts you get from Bunnings, which is people who are listening overseas, a couple of my mates, maybe. It is Bunnings is the same as Home Depot, so it's just a big hardware store. Mm-hmm. So those bolts and nuts that you get in a package already from Bunnings or Home Depot, you are the one. Well, essentially, you could be the one if you had a job in prison. So it's done by prisoners.
I potentially would have bought.
You bought it?
I screwed on.
Scratch a little note under it. Please help.
Yeah. Plans of the prison out.
Yeah.
100%.
Prison
break. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That. Obviously, that's something that they don't tell you, that prisoners are putting Bunnings nuts and bolts together.
Well, at Loddon, I could tell you later, they make specialty chairs, the ramps you buy at Super Cheap Auto, the car ramps.
Yeah.
And we also make we made the signs for safety signs, road signs, sorry.
Really?
Yeah, we weld up them as well.
Prisoners are doing all the work, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not sure what Barwon... Yeah, they make good money, apparently, to offset a lot of the costs for prisoners, especially in America, apparently, big. But then, it costs a lot to keep house prisoners, apparently. But
it's crazy, apparently.
A lot of people, like homeless people, froth the boob.
Oh, really? Is the boob prison?
Yeah.
So some of these terms...
People become boobinised.
Okay.
So they want institutionalised.
So they want to get back in after they've...
It's they get 3 meals a day.
And roofs over their head.
Get to meet good boys. There's heaps of good lads.
Good boys and bad ones.
Yeah. Some people, if you want to, like for instance, if you want to be like meth is a big thing in there. Not necessarily getting on it, but it's more people love to talk about it and like if you're a cook, you know, you're a sick cunt and like type thing. And then like
kind of smart.
Yeah, and everyone wants to join in. Like when I was there, that was a big scene. Everyone wants to talk about selling and getting their contacts and like building up this. You know, like it's like you can either become a better criminal in that sense and learn from other criminals, or a lot of people become spiritual and go to the library. And like myself, I went down that path and started just reading and shit.
So as you did say off air that you believe that prison was getting that sentence and stuff was one of the better things that did happen to you.
Yeah.
Well, as you said, the best thing it could happen to you because you were a bit of a rat bag, and this fucking straightened you out because you were at the bottom of the bottom.
That's it.
You're fucking locked
worst
up.
Worst thing I've ever done, and best thing that could happen to me.
So for the long run, unfortunately, a couple of people got hurt, and you got in trouble, but it actually changed your personality and stuff for the greater good for the future. And
that's it.
You're a better person.
Yeah, like it chewed me up for a while, the guilt, and never really forgive myself. But I'm just trying to.
Can you talk to those people? Like, do they?
Yeah, like I wrote apology letters and so on, and like before I went in, and
how do you actually get in contact with them? You know, like you just like
I sent them to the squad that was the arson squad.
Yeah, okay.
And when I was going to court, because I admitted to what I'd done did. Yeah, and
that's interesting. It's nice that you can actually send the letter. And did you ever get a response from anyone?
It's
like, get fucked.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fair enough. Like people hold grudges. I'm the exact same. I would be annoyed. So you got locked up. You're in, what was it, North Scarbs? South Scarbs?
Scarbs South.
Scarbs South.
And then I was there for 3 months.
And that's max security?
Yeah, that's max. And
what? So you had a single cell?
Yep, there's a cell there. And so I did a couple of courses. I tried to do as many courses and shit as I could.
What kind of courses can you do?
You can do heaps, even like maybe not heaps at Port Phillip, but I did a cooking course. I did a computer course while I was there.
So it's kind of like shit that you can do at high school, essentially.
Yeah, you can upskill. Like I put that shit on my resume and just pretend I fucking was somewhere else. And then I met Julian Knight. He was the Hoddle Street Massacre.
Oh, shit.
I met him there. He was just a bloody larrikin. Apparently a lot of people get legal advice off him because he's like a qualified lawyer, because he's studied in jail and fucking...
He did his own defense. I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, but I think he studied all his law and stuff like that. Yeah. And then...
He's a bad murderer, but I think because he's like wanted to get out...
How many people did he kill?
Oh, I can't remember, but because he like kept... revoking his parole.
Yeah, and then he tried to do his own law stuff, so he learnt about everything. Still, they turned around and went like, "Eat shit, mate."
Yeah, because poor cunt. Because he deserves to get out. Because he was a good cunt. I think he was alright. Like fucking nothing wrong by me, and he's like this fucking shipper bloke. He's fucking my computer skills and shit.
Really? So he's Julian Knight, nice dude. But shot a bunch.
Good fella.
Murdered.
He's 19. Like, fuck,
he's 19 when he did that.
Yeah.
What's he like, in his 50s now or something?
He's old, yeah. I don't know. He's bald and old and shit. Yeah.
I'd be surprised if that...
now.
I think, and I could be wrong, but I think he killed a few cops.
Yeah, good on him.
I think he may have. I could be totally wrong. That might be fucking slander. But I think maybe that's why they were really big on the. We're not letting you out because you killed our own. Maybe that could be totally wrong. I like to Google that.
Wouldn't surprise me.
So you met him. You upskilled. You did some courses.
Yeah, good times.
So you get your first cell there, and how long were you there?
And then 3 months.
You were there for 3 months.
And then they gave me my B rating. So start with my A.
Yeah.
In Max, I got the B rating, which therefore I can go to medium security.
Okay.
And then it took me about 8 months to get whilst I was there, to get my C rating, and then I could go to the minimum security.
How do you get? We've jumped a little bit. So you were there for 3 months. What's the routine once you're there? What's your day-to-day fucking life? From like, if you can remember, kind of like day one. How do you feel?
Well, this is almost day one, or this is probably like day 3, right? At Scarbs South, I knew that you shouldn't call people a dog. Yeah, it's clear as day, like clear as mud. Like you shouldn't ever fucking. There's one thing you shouldn't say. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Right?
I thought it was cunt, but that's just...
Yeah, well, skunk is another one. Like fucking.
So did you say before that a skunk is a pedophile? Did you say that?
Yeah, it's the same as dog skunks.
Yeah. So they refer to like the people that they really don't like in prison as dogs. So it's like the fucking
any bad cunt,
rapist.
Yeah. It's a good moral code in jail. Like if you are a pedo or a rapist or anything, then like people will be happy to bash and like cane the fuck out of you for like just being in mainstream.
And are they around? Like are you with rapists and pedophiles, or do they go to fucking
the thing is
protection with Ararat?
Most of them get protection and such, but apparently because depending on like when I was locked up, there was apparently a bit of a mass influx. Can't remember what there was overcrowding in prisons, and like people were doing unhumane lengths of time in police cells, and because they were just too crowded, and all the court system was backed up and all this shit. They've built new prisons since because of that situation, and
so did those guys get locked up with the?
So what happened was they were trying to reintegrate fucking out Loddon prison.
Which one's Loddon?
That's out in Loddon's out in Castlemaine.
Is it medium?
It's medium. Okay. Yeah, they were trying to reintegrate the dog prisoners with mainstream, basically.
And that didn't work very well.
And it was one dude. It was named Sean. I don't know. Mentioned
him.
He's a bad skunk, and I was playing volleyball with him. Had no idea.
So this is bad for you.
He's a bit like cringy looking. Like you see some psycho shining through his eyes, perhaps. But like it was nice to meet.
Yeah. Same as Julian Knight, the murderer. The murderer. Everyone just shines to you.
Oh shit! Like,
you are pretty fucking like social type of dude though. Like you will seem to have a chat to people. Since I've known you anyway.
Well, one of the dudes in there, like at the county court, he set me straight early. He was like, bro, like, fucking just be a good cunt, like, don't put yourself on show, don't put someone else on show.
Because I assume a lot of people would go in there and be like, and they see on TV, and do they do like that in movies and they're like, I gotta knock out the biggest fucking dude here. Is that a thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, especially if there's different like gangs and shit involved.
Yeah, so we'll go into gangs and stuff a bit later. Sorry, so you were playing volleyball with this dude?
So yeah, and then I got my C rating, went to a different prison, and read in the paper that he got tipped, which means he got someone. He was gonna bash him and basically let the fucking or someone got wind of these rapists, and then so the either tipped himself or got tipped up to Ararat. Apparently, I think
so
it was.
So tipped, like is snitch, or you tell people?
Nah, tips like you tip yourself and say, oh, you want to bail out, bail.
Okay.
Or getting maybe, or if you do something which warrants you getting sent back to max.
Okay.
Like drugs, for example.
Yeah.
If you're medium or minimum and you have drugs, you have to go back to max.
Okay.
And so I went to minimum, and then read in the paper that he escaped from Ararat prison with a fucking anklet GPS thing on. Because because there's a minimum section in the medium prison out the front. Yeah. So he was in that time, and he escaped on a push bike or some shit, and then fucking I read in the paper and he's about a fucking rapist, and I was like, oh, careful, there's a fucking rapist on the loose, and I'm like, oh. Fuck, this
playing volleyball with him.
Fuck!
I'm fucking Shawnee!
No, sure. Fucking no, sure. Oh, no,
Jesus. It's pretty crazy. So, you're in medium now. Are you... Wait, sorry, when you're at max, you got the 3... so, you had 3 months in the max.
Yep, 3 months in the max.
Was it South Scarp?
Yep, Scarp South,
Yeah, Scarp South. Then you got your cell by yourself. Then you go into the cell with someone else.
So eventually, my first cellie, because I got to Loddon.
Oh, so you had a cell by yourself the entire time
at port
at the max, the max security place.
Yeah.
So so what happens? Like, do you fucking like so what's your day to day? I know you did some courses and stuff like that, but so like what's the food like and all that type of shit like. Are you nervous at the start? Are you fucking...
Oh yeah. I was going to say
You called someone a dog, didn't you?
Yeah. So
and this is at Port. Is it Port Phillip?
This is Port Phillip. Yeah. Yep. So. Yeah, like you get nervous when you move prison, especially. You know, like you're.
What about when you first went into that one, like max security?
Max,
like,
like
shit.
Just talking to people who were on the bus with.
Yeah.
You know, like
is there a gang thing? Is there like a? Because we always see, and I'm just going back to American movies and shows and stuff, and even the actual like documentary type, like Hard Times and all that type of stuff. Is there actually like? You know, you do have gangs, and they are like race-wise.
It depends on what unit you are in, and it's usually like they'll usually separate. It's more like bikies that like it against bikies.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because
that's the thing. Like we obviously have in Australia, we don't have like street gangs, as you would say, like the Bloods and the Crips and stuff, but we have bikie gangs.
Yeah.
So they will put one in some other place.
And quite often, if the one gets put in, then they'll like accidentally or unintentionally they'll tip themselves out.
Okay. Shit. Because they're in trouble.
Yeah, they'll want to be with their own lads, or they don't want to be fucking.
How violent is it? How
well, like someone gets stabbed, like probably depends. Like at Port Phillip, like about once a week, you hear like a code fucking black or fucking whatever.
Oh, so they put it over like blue. And then
yeah, they lock everyone up. Someone gets stabbed, anyone dies, or anything happens.
Did many people die while you were in there?
They lock everyone up. Yeah, like probably. Oh, like I can't remember. Like sometimes they don't tell you what's going on. What code is happening. They just lock you up.
Yeah.
But I never saw anyone die.
Okay. Did you see anyone get stabbed?
I didn't see anyone get stabbed. Nah.
Smacked.
Yeah, there's a few blues.
Did you get in any fights?
I've got in a couple of fights. Yeah.
Did you get in trouble? Or is it in-house?
I was going to tell you this funny one, how...
what I'll do is I'll pause it now. And we are back. I just had to change the camera. You were just about to say a bit of trouble that you got in. Maybe your first fight or something?
Yeah, this has been like day 3 at Port Phillip.
Yeah.
And
day 3 you got in a fight.
Yeah.
Don't waste any time, mate.
Yeah, well, like old mate told me when I first got in there, he's like, just keep, like make friends and be social, but like, gave me the full rundown and.
So is the rundown kind of like if you?
He's like, you won't get raped if you, unless you want to,
Really? So is that a big?
Don't worry about that. Like, it's not like America.
Yeah,
it's not as bad as America.
Okay, so it does. It could happen, but it's not as prevalent.
Yeah, like unless you're in with a rapist. Which, like, it probably
bigger
happens
and stronger than you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the...
It probably happens more in protection prisons and shit.
Yeah, okay.
That's where there are fucking rapists everywhere.
Yeah.
But in mainstream, it's, like, quite unusual. Unless, like, you want to do... You engage in it. Unless you be a big show. You're more likely to trying to be a big show. You're more likely to get bashed, but...
Yeah. So no one's going to rape
it. Yeah, it's more likely to sell... Like,
that's good to know. I think a lot of people out there are just like, alright, I can go to prison now. I can punch this guy in road rage because I'm not going to get raped, which I was scared about. So, sorry, you
some people sure have an overwhelming urge to get their faggot on,
Yeah. I mean, if you're that way inclined too, and you're like, fuck, I don't give a shit.
Like...
And if you're locked up for a long time...
The funny thing is, like, guys get a little bit fucking puffy in jail, like in a big group anyway, like, like, if you're just, like in fucking all boys school even, like, and then, like, compared to fucking, like, females prison, they get all butch and shit.
Oh, really? Go opposite way?
Apparently females prison is way more hard, like, Niall Sparkley in there.
Really?
He's more hardcore, like, they fucking have to, they get fucking He also say like fucking put broomsticks up each other and they fucking actually rape each other.
Oh shit!
So,
okay. Women don't go to fucking female prison. Men do what you want.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you're gonna get in some trouble. So there was third day in.
So I went up to. I was collecting my food off the food billet, and he.
So the food billet is just the guy that works at the prison.
Yeah. You get a job,
but he's also an inmate.
Exactly. If you've been there long enough, there's like billet's just another way for the worker. Like there's a job for everything and anything they can make in there. In essence,
what's the best job that you can get? What's the prize job that you can get in max security?
In max, would just be at the kitchen.
Yeah, is that because you get to fucking eat as much as you want?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly, and then like you can dish out as whatever, and you can kind of have the leftovers.
Yeah.
If you're lucky. Pardon me. And then, but yeah, so basically I called this guy. I'm like, you cheeky dog, like something like that.
Yeah, just was it mucking around or was it
mucking around? And he just fucking turned. His eyes went black and just turned to me like this. And this guy had done 5 years, and I think he was involved in a killing, and he wasn't a murderer, but something. Lebanese dude, like, is that we end up becoming good mates after this, right?
Okay.
And he goes, come into my cell. I'm like, because he was filthy as, you know, I'm like, fucking, what do you mean? He's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, yeah, alright. Like, pretty naive, man. I should have probably guessed something.
Yeah.
It's kind
of like, what's my dick?
Yeah. Well, yeah, long enough to suck his dick. Oh, yeah. Fuck!
Third day. Shit!
And then fucking go in there and you fucking plate of food. He's got to put your food down. I'm like,
that's nice that he didn't want your food to get.
Yeah, it was ruined. In his cell.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Still want a mess.
Oh, yeah, and I put down. This fucking right hooks me to the side of the face, and my head's pretty good at taking a bit of a panel beating, and so I fucking didn't go down, and I'm known for a bit of a wrestle, you know. So I fucking get in there, fucking have a bit of a wrestle.
Were you the same size? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, about the same size. Yeah.
So the same size you are now?
Yeah.
Because because for the people who can't see him, because you can't, because he's wearing a jacket. But you are fucking a shredded individual. Like you look fucking prison strong.
Yeah.
You kind of got that crazy like free weight body with like
Well, I read this book like convict conditioning.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it. Anyway,
sorry to jump in. For the people who like, I've seen him at the gym for the brief times that I fucking go. You do the muscle up. So it's a chin up, and then you do the full fucking extension up to the triceps. And you do them like a madman. And I've watched people at the gym staring at you like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's crazy that you can do that shit so
easy. I used to do some weird shit like that in jail, and people were like, what the fuck? But I read this book in there, because this guy lent it to me, he's like, this is the fucking Bible, man. And like convict conditioning, and like it teaches you how to like...
So when you were in prison, you got that book?
Yeah.
Okay.
That inspired me to become a gymnast. I always wanted to become a gymnast, basically. And then all those gymnast type... old school calisthenic exercises.
Yeah, doing handstands and doing fucking push-ups when you're in the air doing a handstand, you fucking psychopath.
I had this guy who was the ex-Taekwondo champion of Australia.
Was he in prison?
In prison, and he saw I was pretty like skinny, boned out little dude when I went in, and he saw how I'd bulked up, put on 10 kilos and then was looking pretty
jacked.
Sort of jacked, I guess, and then he's like, how do you train, bro?
Oh, really?
And he was showing, I'm like, bro, show me how to train your legs, you know, because he's kind of Taekwondo, it's all legs.
Yeah.
And then it's like, like fast. And then he's like, I was teaching him all the shit that I learned from this book.
Yeah.
And he was like, fuck yeah. And
you get closer to the mic.
And so then that was that. And then anyway, back to this guy who...
Yeah, so he smacked you.
Yeah, so
you put your food down.
Slouched me over the side of the head, and then we're wrestling, and I got him down because I can wrestle pretty good.
Yeah.
And then
I
could have laid into him. I had him, and he's like, and I just let him go. And we talked it out, and I was pretty fucking pissed weak. And then I had a big black eye, and the screws ended up asking me later on, like, fucking, what happened? And I'm like, I was playing basketball.
I tripped into a door.
Yeah.
We don't have fucking doors here, mate. You're lying.
Yeah. They're like, do you want to change units?
Oh, really? So they're actually alright like that?
Yeah. Like,
so
for protection, like protection. I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm sweet. I didn't say nothing, and then I got.
What would happen if you?
I got some mad credit in that.
Oh,
unit
really?
after
Okay.
That. So he was like, he ended up some of my shoes got stolen out of my cell.
Yeah.
As that happens to everyone, pretty much. And then he fucking got it back for me.
Oh, really?
And I made friends with fucking everyone, because he'd been in there for 5 years.
So he knew everyone.
And it was like, fucking next minute I got all his mates, and then after 3 months I fucking left anyway, I got his friends, and that's fucking...
Do you any out that you speak to now? Any like guys
Yeah,
in that prison in Max?
Not in Max now.
So they're all pretty much.
But they're all
still there.
But everyone that I
do you have Facebook or what do you actually have in Max security Max security prison?
No internet.
No internet at all.
You got computers but no internet.
Do you how often can your family come and visit?
Once a week.
Any time?
It's not
during the day. I guess.
I think it's Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
It's Saturday, Sunday. You get contact or.
And do they come in with food? Like give you fucking Maccas or
whatever? You can get shit from the can. There's a little canteen usually.
Yeah.
Or some vending. I think it's just at Maxim. It's just vending machines.
Okay. Because they don't want things in the food.
At
They bring in,
no,
a chisel and a cake, like the old school.
No, because at like medium and minimum, there's like actual canteens where you can go and buy food.
Yeah.
And there's like, ladies that work there and shit. But
How do you have money? Where's your money?
So you work because at medium you can work if you like.
Yeah.
Or not. And then you collect like a doll.
Okay.
It's like $12 a week, I think.
And do you have like a little card, like your doll card?
Nah. You just go in. It's on your account. You got you got a prison card. I can show you the card. I got to take a photo of it.
Yeah.
If you're interested. Just funny, fucking photo.
And then you just kind of go up there and you go, fucking, I'm Aniello.
Give me your numbers.
And then they would go.
My number's 197340. I think 19730.
Yeah.
I can't remember. And use that number to make phone calls.
Yeah. How much is a phone call?
It's not cheap. And
yeah,
so you can get people to put money in your account. You can put up, I think up to 140.
So your mum and dad wouldn't if they wanted to? Or
yeah, but I used to work and I didn't smoke because back then you could smoke in prison.
Okay. They can't smoke anymore?
Can't smoke anymore, no.
What? I thought that was currency.
Well, is it 100%
Is it hand jobs now or something?
Yeah.
You get 2 handies for your cake.
Or you can even in Max you can buy stuff from the canteen, but in Max it's like a delivery thing.
Yeah.
But in the other joints you collect it. You go and collect it. You can buy like tuna, eggs, coffee, chocolate, Coke, cans of Coke, all sorts of soft drink, chips, all good shit. And you can just use people people gamble and shit. And gamble. They play certain games like jail games.
So if you wanted to give money to someone, can you be like, hey, can you please transfer the money to fucking old Julian Knight here, a couple of bucks for a fucking Sanger or something? Like if you need to...
Like from someone on the outside?
No, from someone inside. So you know how you're gambling?
Yeah,
or is it only with food and things like that?
Only with food, no. Okay. You can't go between...
Yeah.
You're not supposed to gamble either.
Yeah. What are you doing? What are you playing? What gamble?
Quite often we'll play like 41, which is a jail game.
Yeah.
Hard game to play. It's heckers.
What actually is it? Cards? Is it?
Yeah, it's card games. It's hard. It's hard to explain, but then
people must get fucking good at that shit too.
Oh yeah.
It's all day, every day. Just like, want to play 41?
Yeah. We always play chess. A lot of chess.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot of chess. So I become a chess wizard, bro.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Is there anything like? Is there any? I know this is probably dumb to say, but is there like a games room? Can you play pool, or is it any? Is there TV? Is there fucking a movie night? I'm just trying to think of anything that you guys could do.
At some prisons I think that is, but not the ones I went to, nah.
Probably wouldn't be at Mac because someone would literally snap the queue and stab someone with it.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta pull walls and shit.
Did you get... Yeah, true. Did you get into any other fucking skirmishes in that prison?
No.
And you were pretty good after that because the guy chatted to all his mates and he was like, this is fucking...
Yeah, because I didn't say anything, I didn't lag and I just copped on the chin and basically, because some people go, oh, he fucking hit me. What happens if that cunt who fucking aerates like that in front of everyone, then they will usually tip him to another prison
because they know
keep the cunt who he tried to lag on, because he's fucking basically a snitch. Yeah, sort of thing. So then, I got credit for being just a staunch cunt.
Yeah, so he's like, this guy can fucking handle himself, he's good dude.
Just be if you're just like a straightforward person, just reasonable, then you'll be fine, type thing.
And just don't call people dogs.
Another thing, if you're getting caught up with drugs...
How do you get drugs in there?
So a lot of people, because I was going to tell you, like you have to, when you go to a contact visit in Max, you have to wear like a jumpsuit, like a full fucking.
Oh, so they can't slip shit into you.
Yeah, because a lot of people still do, but apparently the screws also sneak in fucking.
So is that how drugs?
A lot of drug things in the screws, but that's in Max, right?
Okay.
Medium's different, but then.
So contraband is coming from the officers.
Apparently, a lot of it,
screws, as they're called. I'm going to have one on the show. One of my mates, Cody, he used to do it for 3 years. So
really,
it's interesting to see.
Yeah,
he's up in Bendigo. Or outside of Bendigo, wherever there must be some sort of prison.
It might be Loddon, is it Loddon?
Maybe.
Because that's Castle, mate.
Yeah, no, that would be it. Castle, mate.
Yeah, that's right.
It's okay.
Shit.
Oh, shit, you might know him. Actually, no, he actually only did it 3 years ago, and you've been out for ages.
Yeah.
But no, he's fucking amazing. Comedian, but anyway.
Yeah, look, like it's just a job at the end of the day, and like when you're in there, it's them against us, you know, a lot of the time.
And some of them actual fucking psychos.
Like some of the screws
power
are bad
trippers,
dogs,
and they're just
bad
like fucking.
dogs. Yeah.
Do they ever fuck you up? Like, you know, they get the opportunity.
They will.
They'll put you in a room and kick you.
I never gave them a chance, but because I got put in the slot for 2 weeks.
So what's the slot?
The slot is like solitary confinement.
Okay.
And
what is? Can you just describe that? Because I don't know what that. Like,
well,
what's the actual?
Every jail is different, and apparently in like the max security, it's a nice long term usually slots where they got a TV and a bit of a run out.
Really?
You run outside where you can go out, enjoy your courtyard, whatever. But the one I went to was apparently because Loddon is the oldest prison still running apparently.
Okay.
In Victoria anyway. And the slot is the oldest, shittest slot.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, got no TV, got nothing. You got nothing in there, and it's like you go mad. Like some dude, I did like 15 days, I think. And when I got out, I felt like I was in. I felt like I was a free man when I back into Main Street.
Yeah.
And this other dude was, he did 28 days or something in there, and he was literally like out of the night was singing to himself and just like, I was even singing to myself after fucking like a week, man. Just like, just humming to myself. I thought he's gonna be weird because he's by himself, and that's where if you snap the screws, they might fucking bash you.
No one can see.
Yeah. But
what
otherwise,
did you do to get in there?
That's a story. That's a funny story.
Later.
I was working this is at Loddon Prison in Medium.
Yeah.
I was working in metal fab.
Yeah.
Welding up because I used to be a bit of a boiler makery type dude and had some skills. So I was in there welding up ramps for Super Cheap Auto. The car ramps and the signs for like the work signs for traffic control, and would also do specialty disabled sort of chairs and shit.
Yeah. And
then one of the billets, the cleaning billet there, you just go around like this magnetic broom thing, pick up all the fucking swarf and the shit, all the metal filings and shit. And he was just being a bit of douche one day, and just sort of thought he ran the shop, you know, and I was like, oh fuck this cunt. So I went to the toilet, he's supposed to clean the toilet, and I took a shit on the fucking floor of the fucking metal fab toilets, and I used to call myself like the Phantom Bogger. And me and my mates used to laugh, and we used to do some stupid shit, like we'd make fucking fake shit out of like fucking Wheat Bix and Milo and like making little fucking perfect turds and leave them out in the corridors and shit.
Yeah.
And we used to do heaps of fun, but I did a full on. That was it. We used to do them we used to do that at Darringale.
Okay.
But at Loddon, this is where I did it. I did this actual turd on the floor for him to find, and apparently one of the screws found it. Or some shit, or someone must have told the screws. And anyway, did the shit, and fucking what happened was the screws bailed up all the blokes who were working in metal fab, like everyone's gonna get fucking slotted, and then someone fucking comes forth.
Yeah.
And like in the midst of it, so when they all bailed me up after that, because everyone knew it was me. And they're like, you fucking better fucking come clean, cunt, or we're fucking gonna bash you and shit. I'm like, alright. So I fucking the screws. I'm like, yeah, look, it was me. And they were just fucking disgusted, and they fucking threw me in the slot. And then they put me on loss of privileges, where I couldn't call anyone for 2 weeks, and then also
did your family know about that? Like,
they probably. I don't think I even told them.
Okay, but I mean, like, so how often did you call home?
They knew I was in the slot, but I didn't tell them why. But,
okay.
I used to call, because I had a missus when I was in jail the whole time. And I used to call...
Do conjugal visits actually exist?
I think, you have to get at least 5, doing at least 5 years. You have to actually have a wife, I think.
Oh, really?
Or someone who has the same car, like, who's on a joint bank account.
Okay, it's got to be serious.
Kids.
Can't just be getting whores in.
yeah, unfortunately. But fuck, that was the coolest thing after getting out after 2 years. I was like, fucking vaginas and like everything, man. Is the fucking most. Everything was like so intensely different. Like I'd be deprived of everything. It was like it's the most biggest high you could ever get is getting out of jail. Like because of being deprived. Anyway. So,
you're deprived of everything.
Yeah, it's bizarre. But
well, I won't go into that. I was going to ask you about cars and stuff. So where are we in the story? Where we're still in Max in my mind.
Yeah.
So you did that. You were all right. You only got that one bit of trouble because fucking the guy, like you got in a fight 3 days in.
Yeah.
After that, you were all good. So you got through any other crazy stories there? Any funny things that
Max
happened?
is pretty chill, really.
Yeah. So it was only 3 months there.
Yeah.
In Max.
I sort of pulled up pretty quick after that.
Yeah.
And just learned to start going to the gym and.
So your average day after that, let's say you're in for say 4 weeks, you become accustomed to everything. You know.
Becomes like Groundhog Day.
So all you're doing is going to the gym.
Yeah. Then you get locked up. I think it's.
Yeah. What do you do?
7 o'clock. I think at Port Phillip or 7. I think it was 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
At night they lock you up.
And you. So what time do they open the cell doors?
I think it was 8 o'clock. Sorry.
Yeah.
And at minimum it was 7.
Okay.
So I just I can't remember.
So when you so you get up in the morning. Do you do like a roll call or a fucking...
Oh, sorry, they'll do muster, it's called. So they count you at max, I think it's about 5 times a day.
Just to make sure you haven't escaped.
Exactly.
And someone hasn't shivved you.
Yeah. So there's like there is a bit of a time frame type setup with, and even in minimum, it's like, I think it's about 7 or 8 times a day. Ooh. They'll count you, especially because when I was in minimum, 7 people escaped.
Yeah, because there's literally no...
Yeah, you can just walk out, and you only get extra 3 months jail and shit for...
Is it worth it though? Like, you know, what could you do in that time? I assume the towns are pretty far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to get far.
Nah, and like people aren't usually in to get to minimum. You're not usually haven't done much to get out, and you're not doing long anyway. Like people aren't doing more than like a year.
Yeah, so to be in minimum, you've got to only have about a year left. Or something.
Yeah, I think people who are just like bad junkies, brass monkeys that want to.
How do junkies and stuff go into prison when they're like cold turkey and they don't? Let's say they couldn't get drugs. How do you just see them tweaking out and being fucked, or do they get like methadone or anything like that?
Yeah, they get the methadone, the bupe.
Yeah, is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Is it bupe?
Bupe is like another type of methadone thing where it helps people get off hammer. Mm-hmm.
So hammer's heroin.
Heroin, yeah. So then they try and people smoke bupe.
Oh.
People love people. Apparently in New South Wales they like regurgitate the methadone, and if it's not warm, then like it's not good. People want it fresh.
What the fuck?
Methadone's apparently they love. Some people froth methadone, right? But then,
well, it is medicinal. Is it like medicinal type heroin?
Well,
or it's something equivalent.
They'll put you on it if you have a sore back and you're old or some shit and you're fucking back. They'll put you on methadone just like for painkilling. And this is so readily available there.
Yeah. So just throw it out, yeah.
And people gain heaps of weight, and when they're on the methadone for some reason, they will eat heaps.
Or retain water or something.
I'm not sure. Yeah, but then the bupe is like a smokable form, like it's a pill or something. They crush up and do something. You smoke it.
And, but they're not supposed to smoke it, are they?
Nah. So people would sell like a whole bupe pill for like a pouch of White Ox tobacco.
Okay.
Which is everyone in jail smokes White Ox.
Okay.
Everybody, because this is the strongest, cheapest shit.
You were allowed that then. You
Yeah.
were allowed to smoke.
But I didn't smoke.
Yeah.
That's why I made $8.50 a day at my highest paid job, which is the best job I've had.
Which one?
Which was driving a tractor. I drove
Oh,
a
is this
tractor
a
at Darringall.
Okay.
On the farm, and I'd made, and even in medium, I earned $8. I was on the full wage back then. Was $8.50.
Yeah.
A day.
Apprentice wages.
A day, yeah. Pretty much, and then. We would, and I'd use that money to buy shit from the canteen, and so I never really needed people to put money in my account.
So you're working.
Unless I was really struggling, and to call people, call my missus probably every couple of days, and she'd come see me every week or two,
Trying to get a handy under the table.
Yeah. Well, last thing the conjugal. Apparently, the conjugies, you have your whole family, and then there's separate rooms. This is what I heard. I've never done it, but they can get big platters.
Family's just listening.
Yeah, it's more of a medium and minimum security thing.
Yeah.
And there's big platters of food they get from the fucking canteen. They go in this a room. I'm like, why are people going in that room when I was fucking, waiting for my visitor? And then people are like, yeah, that's the conjugals.
Oh.
And they go in and the kids play around, and the fucking, there's a little playground, play thing in there, and then they can go, the parents go into a separate room and fucking
really
do their business. And if they're actually married, how good's that? Yeah,
nice that they let them do it.
Legit, if you could have conjugal visits with hookers or whoever. Then you all could do jail for fucking 10 years, easy. You know what I mean?
So it's keeping you out. Fuck it.
Pretty much.
Alright, so we've got, I think we've kind of done the max security. Unless you got something you want to add.
That's pretty much.
So that's max.
Max is not not a lot happens there because it's pretty boring.
Yeah. So it
happens in medium. Because that's
where coming up next.
Yeah.
So you did 3 months there. You had a single cell. You got into one fight. You started doing your gym stuff pretty extensively. Mm-hmm. Made some friends, played chess, did all that type of stuff, and then you move into Castlemaine. What was it called?
Loddon.
Loddon.
That's the one.
What happens there? So you go, all right, I'm used to fucking 3 months. I've done fucking a quarter of the year in this prison. Mm-hmm. You're feeling all right. And then they're like, you're going to Loddon. And you're like, all right. So what do they say? How long are you going to be there for?
Nah, they just
tomorrow you're fucking going. Or is it like you're going in a week, get your affairs and all that?
Basically they're like, you got your... the screws will say come up to the screws box. And they'll be like...
Do they call themselves screws?
Nah, because they're like, if you call them screws, they're like, you fucking convict.
Oh, really? Okay. So it's a derogatory term, is screw.
Yeah, but most of them don't care. It's fucking
Did you have any good ones? Any ones where you're like, fucking, what's going on, Larry?
Not particularly, but there's some hot one. There's a sort of hot one at Darringall.
Really?
And apparently they deliberately don't hire hot ones, but this one was alright. Anyway, to everyone, it's just fucking unreal. You don't see much shit. Don't get much action in there, you know what I mean? And just fucking... everyone would sort of tongue over her and shit because she was a sports screw.
Okay.
The sports screw. So this is a Darringall. Sorry, this is
there's a medium.
At the minimum. Sorry, this
medium.
is the minimum.
Oh, minimum.
And there was you could buy protein powder. You can go in and ask for
really?
football, and we used to play into jail games.
Do you get more money? Are you allowed to have more money in your account?
No. For protein powder, yeah. Yeah. But for a footy, they'll just give you a footy.
So you can just play with the footy? You just rent it out like at school? Yep.
Okay. I used to play into all sorts of shit. We used to go on... I'll tell you that when I get to the minimum.
Yeah.
Because we used to... Yeah.
Alright. What is it? Is it
We used to go on excursions with this female screw out into the Gold and go for 2-hour-long walks along the Goulburn River.
Yeah.
And fucking go for a frolic. And it was just her and 10 other prisoners.
Oh, really?
We could have gang raped her and stuff. Not that we would. No one was rapists.
Yeah.
No one was like that. Everyone was getting out soon. But it's like this... She used to love it, man. It's her and 10 prisoners.
Yeah.
Fucking Goulburn River, man. She's controlling us all like dogs.
Are you chained up? Or are you not chained up because it's minimum?
No. You can just walk out. What, you get up yourself? There's a mansion.
Start with a fucking porno, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a
bad one. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a funny story, but.
So we've gone into what was it? I can't remember the fucking Loddon.
Loddon. Yeah.
I'm just going to quickly pause this, guys, and rejig the camera. So you're in Loddon now.
Mm-hmm.
We just talked briefly about that chick that took you around when you're in the minimum.
Yep.
So Loddon, you've rocked up.
Mm-hmm.
You've done your 3 months in the max. You've rocked up to Loddon. What happens? What's day one, if you can remember?
So you go into the intro sort of unit. I think it's called Forest.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one is it's another town, Cobram or something, I think.
Yep.
They're all named. There's one called Avoca. They're all named after different towns around the realm.
Yep.
Went in there, and it's a bigger unit. There's heaps of people,
And it's medium.
and
So how long are usually people in? So what's probably the max that someone could be in medium for?
You can basically stay in medium if you don't want to go to minimum.
Yeah.
Which
So there'll be people in there for like forever. You know what I mean? Like, is there people in there doing life?
Well, yeah. There was a guy. I think he was doing like 18 years, and I'm not sure how he got there, but some people get there eventually.
How many people would you say would be in that?
Not a lot though.
100, 200?
In Loddon?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe nearly 1,000.
Oh, so it's like a high school.
It's pretty decent. Yeah. It's pretty sizable, and there's my first cellmate.
Yep.
So
this you go in with a cellmate now.
And no, first cellmate was he was doing 18 years.
Yeah.
For murder. Pardon me.
Is it weird? Because obviously before then, you've probably never met a murderer, and now
not that I know of.
Yeah, true. We
I met Julian Knight.
Sorry, out on the outside.
Yeah.
Exactly, and now you've met like some dude at a big massacre, and now this fucking dude that you're in the same fucking cell with all the time. If we can backtrack for like 2 seconds, sorry. What's the actual cell like in max security? In your single cell, what's in it?
Same as medium.
Yep.
Which
so you're a little bed.
In essence, it's like it's like 2 meters by like 4 meters.
So it's fucking
something pretty not huge. There's got even Loddon. You got a shower in your cell. Every cell got a shower and a toilet.
There goes those fucking prison scenes from the movies when they drop the soap and stuff. Well,
it's like I met blokes that have done time at Geelong Prison and at Pentridge.
Okay.
Who've done time in both prisons, and they like tell me about the days where there's big shower blocks and fucking shit like that, you know.
Yeah.
And there's big fucking full nose barkley out there, and they even then it wasn't even that bad, you know, but it was heaps more skits place to go to jail.
Yeah.
Like this, in relation to like getting raped in showers, it really wasn't as cliche as in the movies, but
maybe that's an American thing.
Yeah, I reckon it's way more American. I understand
because I've heard convicts talk about that it's the ultimate act of violence, and that's why they do it. It's not because they want to get a load off. It's to demoralize and to break someone.
Yeah,
why they do it.
Yeah,
and that's why I've heard it. It's just the ultimate you're my fucking bitch,
isn't it?
Yeah,
it's skits as.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked.
Man, I'd fucking flip if someone tried to fucking. I'd probably I wouldn't let it happen easily. unless I was keen, you know.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Did you have a knife? Did you have a shiv?
Nah, never bothered.
How often is that?
I could have, because I worked in metal fab. Very easily could have made that.
Just have an off-cut of fucking steel or something.
Ooh, and like the metal detectors that you go in, they didn't work properly. I could have, there's a fence at the back. I could have thrown it into the garden at the back and then picked it up on the way on the fucking on a walk because you're gonna
Really?
walks and shit.
Yeah.
Bro, but I never really thought of getting myself into trouble or felt fear for my life or anything like that. So I stayed on the, if you're a fucking bit of a bad cunt and you want to fucking make a name for yourself or something like that, then...
How many stabbings are in medium compared to max?
Oh, probably about the same.
Really?
Yeah.
So you know...
Sometimes like one a week or one a fortnight.
Yeah.
You get locked down.
And then you're like, fuck. You just have to go in your cell.
Yeah.
So your cellmate murdered someone in Loddon.
So
he was there for 18 years.
So he did a murder. I won't drop his name, but I read all about him in the paper.
Yeah.
Whilst in jail. And
was at the time.
It's his 10-year anniversary to when he did it.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
so it's pretty high profile.
Because he'd be fucking almost out now.
I'll get him
because he had done, yeah. He'd probably have to do his whole sentence, which I think he would have got like 18 on the bottom, 22 on the top.
So before, I don't know if we've gone into that, but 18 on the bottom and 22 on the top. Can you tell us what that is?
So 18 is the 18 is the
minimum.
The minimum. And then on the top is the whole sentence together.
Yeah. So you add those two together.
Yeah.
So what was your minimum?
So my minimum was 15, and then my max, and then I was 15 on the bottom and 34 on the top.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what it was. Yeah. So yeah.
Can you ever? Did they ever change? Like if you were like a model fucking prisoner, do they like ever be like, you know what, like Aniello, you've taken it by the balls, you've done everything right, you've done courses, model, you've never gone to the slot, you're perfect, we're going in to vouch for you and we're going to cut it back. Does that ever happen?
No, not really, because I think it's just like independent, like random, like parole board peoples that like they just like look at your shit. I was ready to look at your shit. There'd be a bunch of them like, fuck you can't do another fucking couple of months.
Yeah. And
do some courses while you're at it and while they're there, you know?
So all that
people
stuff...
snap. Like 101 Aboriginal fella, he's a legend, good cunt, and he's like, he was doing 5 on the bottom and 7 on the top, and he said to him, at his fucking, after his 5 years, he'll get fucked, I'll do the whole 2 years, I'll do the whole 7. I'll do the next 2 years, fuck ya.
Yeah.
Because they will just drag him through the mud, and then put him to the ring and try and make him, fuck that, fuck you, you're fucking gnarly, man.
Yeah.
That is...
At least you know exactly when you're going.
You got nothing when you get out, you got nothing hanging over your head.
Yeah.
If you do the whole sentence, so yeah.
So if you get out...
Basically, you do this whole parole.
If you get out on parole...
Yeah.
And then you do something wrong.
You have to get back and do the whole thing again.
How strict are they? Like, if you get a speeding fine, are you going back to prison?
Oh, I don't know about that. You're risking it.
Really? It's that strict?
Especially after Adrian Bailey.
Yeah.
For sure. But a lot of people, like this fella, apparently he did 2 years and then he... was playing footy he lived right near the border of New South Wales and Victoria. Yeah. And he was playing footy for one side and got caught going over with the team to do some training exercises.
Oh.
Or he might have played over the border for some other...
New South Wales.
New South Wales or something for his game, and he got slotted. I mean, he got tipped or whatever.
So they brought him back into prison.
His parole officer fucking fucked him over. It was in the paper. I think it was in the paper or something.
He got best on. Took a hanger or something.
He was a mad dog, fully like a good cunt, big fucking ruckman or something, man. He's just a fucking ledge. And I feel bad as for him because he didn't deserve that, no way.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
So
you think you'd be able to like tee up with your parole officer and be like, hey, playing footy, can I do this?
That's what exactly. That's what he didn't do. And they decided to ream him about it because I did that actually. I went to Queensland to do a training thing while I was working for for this particular mob. I was looking for drain line.
Yep.
And
so this is after you got out, obviously.
Yeah, and I went and did this training thing, like, and I had to get a full written permission from my parole officer and a little letter saying I could leave the state.
Is that in case you get picked up, or do you get flagged or something?
A bit of both, I think.
Are you on a system, and they're like, is there anything you can't do now? Obviously, like, if you wanted to work with children, you pretty much, because you're convicted.
I'm not sure. I think it's depending on your crimes specifically. However, it's been like nearly 10 years since I actually committed the crime. Since I was 21 and I actually committed it, you know.
Yeah, so you're 30 now.
Yeah, so it's coming up to 31 in July. So then, you know, and then I don't know when they base it off. But if once you've committed the crime, I might after 10 years, I think you can get your gun license.
Oh, really?
And you fucking after 5 years, you can get your gun license.
And Julian Knight can get his.
Yeah, fucking. Just a single action. You're gonna be able to pop me a pen with that, son.
You can get a bow and arrow, champ. All right.
Unreal. Yeah. Well, and I think you might be able to even work at a hospital and work at in medical things after about 10 years or something like that.
You do hear a lot of things.
As long as you're not a fucking bad pedophile rapist fucking skunk, you know, like I think you should be alright.
You do hear a couple of times when people, you know, they do commit a crime later on in life and something, and then they're like, oh, he was a parolee and he got locked up back in like the 80s, and it's like, 2010. It's like, well, it's a long time ago.
Yeah,
but a lot of people think like once you do something bad, you're blacklisted from everything.
Yeah,
it's not the case. It sounds depends on the what you've done.
And I think after 10-year mark, you can get expunged off your record.
Oh, really? Depending on what it is.
Exactly, depending on what it is. And how you can still travel.
Like so it'd be interesting if you could go into the United States because they're pretty strict.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting. Have you tried to do much travelling since you've?
Yeah, I've done a fair bit actually. I've been to India. Travelled to.
There's a fucking helicopter or a plane. Every time we do a fucking podcast, there's some sort of fucking loud bird or or a fucking.
Authenticity of it.
Yeah, it's fucking
bellowing across the fucking Ballarat.
Yeah, the fucking. Hopefully, it's probably more YouTube people, but anyway.
Yeah.
So you've done some travelling. You went to India.
Been to Bali. Half a dozen times.
So then you can still. You're pretty good. It sounds like it's only in the States.
I think the States might struggle, but even then. I think if you expunge it, and if you get I think you can get around in some way. You can apply. And try and.
I think you just got to be honest. If you write no, I haven't, then they're like, you have. Fuck you, you lied.
Exactly.
You're out. I've heard people with assault charges when they're like 18, and they go to the States when they're like 50, and then. They've forgotten about it because it's so fucking long ago.
Yeah.
And then they're like, why didn't you tell us about it? I forgot. And they're like, fuck off back home.
I think like drugs and guns
is
super frowned upon over there.
Well, drink driving, I wouldn't have been, like, I haven't been charged with anything like that, but they made a big thing of the Canadian visa. If you've been done drink driving, you can't get it. And
really?
And I think they don't let a lot of people into the country if you've got... We call it DUI.
I think that because it's pretty fucking bad.
I think it's pretty prevalent in like the places where they're not populated. If that makes sense. So people are out the sticks, getting pissed, driving home, crashing and dying and stuff.
Statistics are bad.
Yeah, I think it is.
Fair enough. I guess.
Yeah. So you're in Loddon. You've just come there. This is medium. You're with the guy who murdered someone. Mm-hmm. What's your day-to-day life in Loddon? So this is medium. Do you call it medium security?
Medium security, yeah. It was quite good there. Going to the gym heaps.
How much weight do you reckon you put on? How much Like muscle, do you reckon you put on while you were in prison?
Yeah, like I started, I put about 10 kilos, I reckon. Solid 10 kilos.
Which is crazy. Like,
felt like it was good for me, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot, that's a lot of muscle.
Yeah.
And
I retained it, I think I kept it as well, like, I think, like, some people were telling me when you get out, you've got to lose 10 kilos, you know?
And you're like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm going to track forever.
Yeah, I'm glad you told me that, because I don't know if I can use that, I'm going to keep going to the gym and shit.
Yeah, that's fair,
yeah.
So it's pretty much the same.
I feel like I've lost 10 kilos being in Corona isolation, actually.
They open the gyms back up for you.
Yeah,
yeah. What's the food like?
Oh yeah, there's like you can choose from a different menu in medium, and it's quite good.
Yeah. So what are we talking? What's just a normal day?
Look, yeah.
So what's breakfast?
Oh, so breakfast is pretty much available all day.
Yeah.
And you get given a certain amount of milk I think you get a litre every 2 days or 3 days.
And do you have a fridge or something?
So there's a fridge down the stairs where near the kitchen. There's got knives even in medium, but they're on chains. You got to chop up some shit if you want to cook up something, you know. And,
you can cook your own shit.
You can cook. There's electric pans. And you can cook
in your room.
Like no.
Oh, they're just set up.
And there's a little kitchen downstairs because usually a 2-story, two-tiered unit block.
Yeah.
And you go down and you can buy like eggs and shit and cook them up or what the fuck, you know. And like a mate he would work in the kitchen. He'd pinch flour and I'd use my eggs and then and some milk and would fucking make up some fucking pancakes.
Really?
And shit like that. Yeah. And then
so do you have to cook your own shit?
Nah, so that's just you can just do that whenever you like.
Yeah. Can you get food whenever you want?
So there's oats. There's oats, some other cereal I can't remember, and bread.
Yeah.
Basically available all day, every day.
So it's just sitting there.
Sitting there, ready to go. And there's full, pretty much qualified bakers who work in jail, like prisoners who work in the kitchen and bake fucking unreal bread.
Really?
Yeah.
What's lunch?
And so you can choose between lunch and dinner, whatever you want. Like, not whatever you want.
How much is on the menu?
Whatever you choose, there's about three different things to choose.
Can you roughly
it's different every day. Sometimes it's like you can choose between like fish or chicken and salad or
is it pretty healthy
sometimes
stuff?
lasagna. It's quite healthy, yeah. It's quite good. I felt good eating it. It was also just cooked by prisoners, you know. Sometimes it's fucking fried rice and shit and but good. I was wrapped.
Yeah.
It was good. It's not like soup kitchen fucking mix shit. What happened was they'll bring it around in like little heated little trolleys with like Bain Maries that like on wheels.
Yeah.
And like kept it warm and they'd come deliver like people are in some of the billets, like the kitchen billets, would come drive around in these golf carts with the fucking things, tow on and fucking drop off all the meals, and then the fucking.
Do you sit together when you eat, or do you take it and go back to your cell?
Usually go back to your cell.
Yeah, because it's not like going back once again to the American things we see on film. You're all sitting down, just fucking eating your food.
That's more Max style.
Okay, so that's Max.
Yeah.
You sit down like that all together. Does shit happen? Like, you know, people are like, "What are you doing, motherfucker?" Like, beef and stuff.
Yeah, like people try and pinch your food and shit.
Oh, really? Is that common?
A little bit, but not so much. Like there's usually enough food.
Yeah.
For everyone. So then they try and stop things like that from happening.
So they give you an adequate amount.
So they give you plenty. Yeah, there's always plenty of food.
Is it hard to stay fat in prison?
Is it hard to get?
If you're fat. If you're a fat person.
No, it's easy to gain weight.
Okay.
Really easy,
because you can't really walk out and do much cardio, can you?
Yeah, and some people sit in their cells a lot and don't but I liked that I could sort of try and put on some weight and and I really enjoyed the food and you can just fucking enjoy yourself. And
so you just went to a fitness camp. Yeah,
pretty much, man. Yeah,
just got jacked and just fucking made some friends.
That's what I was
saying. Hanging out with Julian.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Like with fucking, a lot of like homeless people like love it,
Yeah,
because they're good food and roof of the head. Good, usually like you can make friends and like you can make enemies, but you can make friends.
Do you have any people that you hang like that you've met outside of prison? Like you're just like, yeah, we go away every year. It's just like a prison group. Like ex-cons.
Like yeah, there's a few of us. We're all mates. We all went to like the same prisons, but we all ended up at Darren but we didn't really know each other.
Darren minimum.
Yeah. And then some of my real closest friends I met in prison.
I suppose you're with them all the time.
Yeah.
It's non-stop, 24/7, and then you wake up, the conversation you left at night, you're going back to the next fucking morning.
Bro, like, this is what happens, like, pretty much most day, all day, every day, you see the same people, you know, sometimes fucking 5-10 times a day.
Yeah.
People you don't even live with. You're not even in your cell, but your unit.
Yep.
And you're just like, on your mate.
Yeah.
on your Tait. On your mate. On your brother.
Yeah.
On your brother. Like, it's just like, you just like fucking know everyone, you know, just like, hey, fucking, all like, it's all, that's like, as you get to know people.
Camaraderie, I guess.
You come like say, a lot of things are repeated heaps, and you just like, conversations are repeated a lot, and just like things are fucking, you know, worn out, but it's good, because you
gotta keep yourself entertained.
Keep people in, I used to be the best, that's what I used to be real good at, like, I used to do the stupidest, most, like, whatever, it's fucking most homosexual thing you could do, just to be a funny bugger.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I just fucking keep, as long as you get the laughs up, you know, people fucking love you. People start to love you, and you fucking you become besties, you know. And you fucking.
If people like you, they go a long way to like. Even if you do annoy them someday, they're not going to punch your head in.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like, hey, he's alright. He's alright.
And the more people got on your side, you know, like everything does go down, you know, oh mate, fucking 7 foot tall cunt, you know, I mean, mate, you know, like shit like that.
If you know a lot of people, I'm just going to quickly pause this. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. So you're in Loddon for this, like, medium security. The life is pretty, as you said, it's not too bad. You're doing your gym, the food's a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
You've made friends with a lot of people, it's all good, you're working. Is there any crazy stories that you fucking can remember, or any weird stuff, or is it all pretty same thing? Maybe violence sometimes, stabbings here and there, but wasn't nothing too like. No, does anyone ever hit the guards, the screws, or is it big trouble if you do that?
Not a lot, unless they're particularly being like people. The thing is, like, they don't want to start a riot either, like, so that that would start where everyone would fucking riot if the screws are being overly fucking skunk like, you know. So I think like they tend to err on the side of caution. They don't like have weapons mainly either too. So
it's kind of like just they've got to smack you with a fucking the baton.
Yeah, I don't have them really much. Overall, like
are they big? The ones that you saw?
Just normal people.
Do they change in stature at all from max to medium? You know what I mean?
Oh, not particularly. No, like they might have. They've got more. I think more weapons in max.
Yeah,
but they're
crack your skull.
Yeah, they tend to have more of a respect relationship. Like they're pretty alright in that sense. Like they're pretty reasonable, I guess, to like fucking to keep a friendly fucking situation going on. Yeah, well, without people fucking want to rebel.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they want to get home to their families and whatnot.
That's it.
And they want an easy working environment for themselves. If you're known as the hard-ass piece of shit, people will be like, I'm going to fuck with you. We got nothing else to do to fuck with you, mate.
Exactly, yeah. It's that's too right. And for instance, we would quite often walk around the certain parts of the yard with our shirts off, you know, just to like get a bit of a tan or fucking whatever, like, you know, just push ups up and down the basketball court, the shirts off, and you know the screws in the screws box started to fucking go up the PA system, like, yeah, they put your fucking shirts on or we'll take ours off.
Oh really?
You know, just
mucking around.
Just being funny cunts, you know.
Yeah.
quite often funny like that. We'd go on the oval, have a kick at the footy, and take your shirt off, and we'll go running around and like.
What do you wear? What's your normal prison attire?
You like your greens, you know. You just wear. You used to be able to wear a white shirt and even a flannel in London back then, but I'm not sure about these days. But
do they give you
mainly
everything?
greens? Yeah. The flannels you can bring in. You get undies and socks in and singlets and flannels.
Yeah.
But then they started taking away the flannels for some reason, and I think even these days, like it's more just greens. But yeah, mainly the clothes they give you is like a green jacket, a green jumper, some green pants, and socks and jocks. And some fucking shitty boob shoes and shit.
So the shoes are pretty shit.
Yeah, there's like the ones
that
came out like the Velcro, some of the Velcro fucking ones. Yeah, but then you can get one sent in.
Oh really?
That's where shit happens. That's where people get fucking fucking territorial. That bitch. Yeah, it's just someone with a fresh pair of shoes. People are like, oh fuck this guy. So I think, you know.
Do people actually like ever? Have you heard of like anyone being violent and like bashing someone and stealing their shoes?
Yeah, that happens. Yeah.
So you don't want shoes that are too good?
I didn't engage in the fucking whole shoe fucking fanatic fucking thing. Yeah. Like I didn't bother too much, but
you wearing cowboy boots now?
Yeah. Fucking fit. To be honest, I'm pretty into the shoe scene these days.
Yeah.
Maybe not a coincidence, but if you got a real good pair of shoes, tend to be it's like a bit of a tradition or a bit of a.
I wouldn't want them for myself. Like it's too much. People see them, they're like, "I'm gonna steal those, fatty."
And a lot of it's more like, "Look at me, I got fucking shoes. I'm a fucking sick cunt. Like I can roll cunts. Fucking look at me, fucking look at the shoes type thing.
Yeah,
and especially in Max and shit. Max. And
there's bad cunts everywhere.
Yeah.
You gotta remember that you are with bad people. Like
Exactly.
But unless you like the attention and you're like, someone starts me, I'm gonna fucking belt them.
I'm like I always look at people like and give them the benefit of the doubt and like try to look at people's good sides, you know, and like and you know sometimes at a peril. However, like you know, tend to make friends easily in there, you know, like people,
you just have a chat with anyone. It's better having more friends than none.
Yeah, I could say hello to almost every single person I walk by in the whole jail.
Yeah,
at one stage.
They have a nickname for you.
Jail. Hey,
they have a nickname for you or anything like that.
Oh,
a nickname's big in prison.
Yeah, to a degree. Yeah, for sure. Like there's one guy who had Hep C. Just call him Mellow Yellow. For instance. Like fucking the cunt was like as yellow as the Simpsons type thing. I shit you not. And you know, and then there's fucking and then like someone looks like there was like an AIDS section. There was an old AIDS. If people have AIDS, I was in there, but I don't have AIDS, but it used to be the AIDS part of the jail.
Yeah.
But then they apparently it was like they got this discrimination thing where they can't discriminate.
Yeah.
So then they can't actually allow people to.
Would you call it like the AIDS
be red lighted as AIDS? So so now anyone's allowed in that part, and they said that's the first fucking place I went to. And anyway,
AIDS City.
Yeah, like
HIV Valley.
Well, apparently, like the Dougie Wades. And if someone has the Dougie Wades, we would be calling them like Dougie, you know?
Yeah.
Shit like that. Yeah, and like if someone's a fucking junkie, you would call them a brassy, you know, brass monkey, or like you know, there's all sorts of rhyming. There's also rhyming slang in there, and cockney shit all the time.
Did you guys get any like once a month or once every 3 months or something like that? It was like fucking movie night or any like, you know, everyone's being good. You guys get to have fucking puddings or, you know, here's a custard tart, you fucks.
Oh, sometimes they would give us, like watermelon.
What about for your birthday? You get anything for your birthday?
They give us watermelon, or they give us, sometimes they would give us like some really nice dessert.
Yeah.
And for Christmas, they would, like the Red Cross, I think it was, or, was it, there was other
Vinnie's
shop, not Vinnie's, something like that. What's it called? St. Pat.
No. Well, St. Vincent de Paul's Vinnie's.
it was like a similar sort of well-known charity / op shop.
Yeah.
And they would come in and give us like a pair of socks and some
Okay.
fucking pencils and shit or something like that, which was fucking sick.
Yeah.
On Christmas.
Yeah.
You know?
Nice.
On Christmas we would get a little present.
So you only had one Christmas in there?
Yeah, I think it was one Christmas. And one New Year's.
Yeah.
No, I had two. I think I had two. Yeah, two.
Okay.
Sorry, two.
New Year's,
Because,
didn't make any, like, no fireworks or anything? Didn't make any firecrackers?
Nah, not this time. Unfortunately, however, I could see fireworks because when I was in Loddon, I eventually got a 1 out sale.
Yeah.
I had to be there for at least 6 months to even get on the list.
Yeah.
And I could see into the town of Castlemaine. You actually from my cell, which is the top of the hill of the hole where the cell's built.
Yeah.
It's the top of the hill section. You can see just over the fucking fence, the big wall, and you can see into the town. And
You can see the fireworks.
Yeah, you can see some action. But that was the loneliest part. 2012 too, when went from 2011 to 2012.
Yeah.
And then 2012 to 2013, I spent those 2 Christmases and New Year's. And from 2011 to 2012, that's when I was like, because people, it's going to be fucking, the whole 2012 thing, like end of the world. I was like, Paz and Hart, what are we doing? I'm fucking in jail at the end of the world. Like, fuck, no, this is the lowest.
If the big wave comes, you're going to drown.
Yeah, I was like, oh, fuck. But yeah, it didn't.
What's one of the worst things about prison? Was there anything that you realised you're like, oh, I didn't think I would miss this, but I missed this?
On the outside, did I miss the outside? Oh, mainly just vagina. Or maybe like family. And
so it goes vagina, family, okay?
Looking back, like life, you miss out on a bit of life and and friends and opportunities and things.
Yeah.
But like, I don't look at that at all. Like I look at it like it's the best thing that good thing that happened. So yeah, I feel like it's there's nothing I can complain or nothing negative I feel.
Yeah.
If I had got raped and shit or there's some really bad ass shit happened, I would have been probably different. But I tend to,
Do you have you don't suffer from any PTSD?
No, I wouldn't say so. But
do you ever wake up like dreams and you're like, have dreams and you're still in prison or anything like that, or?
Nah, not really. No, I think it was just at one with the joint. I just accepted it, and there was nothing really that snapped me too much. But like some of my mates were like, I don't know how who were doing 3 to 6 months, and they got out and came back in while I was there. Doing other shit, yeah.
Were you like, you fucking idiot?
Yeah, and they were like, oh, you're still in, bro. Like, oh, fuck, I thought you would have got fucking jazzed by now. Like, or if I get fucking... I thought you would have get fucking got by now, I got stabbed or jazzed, because I was a bit of a smart ass when I first went
jazzed?
in. Jazzed, fucking chinned.
Oh, okay. So you did get chinned once.
Well, yeah.
You're like, yeah, I did.
Well, yeah, exactly. And more fucking maybe even stabbed or something, but one of my mates was like, I don't know how you're gonna make it out of here alive, man. Like the way I used to just be a smart ass to cunts, because I'd always been a smart ass my whole life. That's what took me a while to get used to in jail, was to not fucking be quick on the lip and fucking just zip your lip and fucking be a cool fucking calm collector. I was a really impulsive person and very that's what got me in jail.
Like shitting on the floor.
Exactly, and making bombs and shit.
Yeah.
And
consequences were probably something you didn't think about.
That's what really set me straight in there, and then I was sink or swim, and then I ended up really learning how to be cool in situations, when fucking people are about to get there's all sorts of fucking things that go on, and you just got to be a fucking chill cunt.
Do many, I know it's getting a bit dark now, but we've been dark the whole time. do many people try and kill themselves in prison?
Not really. Not that I've seen. Not that I witnessed or counted. Not even the people who are doing a long time weren't depressed.
It sounds like it's not. It sounds like it's terrible. To me, it still sounds like it's terrible, but it doesn't sound like it's as terrible as I think it is. Because movies and stuff, I'm like, you're getting raped on the daily. Yeah. You're getting fucking porridge, fucking every meal.
Same as parole.
Yeah.
It's as good or as bad as you make it.
Yeah.
It comes down to you. You know, if you're going to be a fucking goose, then people will want to fucking But if you're a good cunt and you're just being yourself, your good old fucking self, and not aerating too much and trying to put people on a show and make people look fucking shit, or if you're just a general good bloke and and be yourself, and don't do your own time. Don't do anyone else's time. Do your own time. Yeah. You're gonna make it through and come out the other side and survive and be better man for it. I guess.
It sounds like you're gonna just. It sounds like you got to embrace it.
Yeah.
Like if you're fighting it, it would suck. And
like
if you're
sitting in your cell and being reclusive and shit, like it doesn't get you. Notice quickly it doesn't get you anywhere, and people.
And you were like that at the very start.
No, because the guy who set me straight, he was like, "Look, man, don't do that. Don't sit in your cell." He sent me, which was really fortunate. He just gave me the fucking ins and outs. He's probably 5 years older than me. And he'd been in before, and he just got sentenced as well, And he's like, man, just fucking be a good cunt, Like it's most of the time we just sit around talking smack, and fucking having a good laugh, That's the fucking best time. That's the fucking most time.
That's why I'm coming back.
Yeah, recalibrate.
I miss the fucking crack.
It's true.
I just want to jump on this because I'm going to have a prison psychologist on this show coming up, hopefully soon. Did you have to do psych evaluations throughout your time in prison?
Well, they did like a actual psychology report prior to going into jail, and then to help. That's more like just to help to understand your situation. But then mainly when there's psychologists sort of at hand, like quite often doing programs and like giving you assessments. Like there's one that assesses you at the Melbourne assessment. At the MAP, Melbourne Prison, and then and then there's ones that do different violent programs or ones to do with like help with family affairs, or ones that help with different. I sort of just put my name up for anything and everything just for something to do.
It sounds like that's the way to go. Doesn't matter if you fail a fucking course in prison. Yeah. You're like, I just got to fucking get out of my cell.
It's more
and do shit.
You more to sit in a big circle and talk shit with each other and hear other people's stories. It's like AA meetings.
Or
something. And it's just we always sit and talk, and the psychologist sits in the middle and just guides us all through. And they seem to enjoy it because it's sort of novelty for them because they're in with a bunch of prisoners, and like we're all just talking about our fucking badass stories.
Did anyone ever tell you a story and you were like, Jesus.
Well, there's a funny
ass one. Christ.
Well, not too gnarly, but like, the one, probably the most gnarly one was the one where the guy I was telling you about, who my first cellie, who was doing 18 years, he stabbed his cousin with a homemade katana. He apparently went up.
Katana is a sword, a Japanese sword, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he basically dressed up like a ninja. He's an old Sicilian dude, by the way. Right, he dressed up like a ninja, went in hid in his cousin's house and waited for him to go home and fucking annihilated him. And then his wife jumped out the 2-story building and broke both her legs. And then he...
Did you say why he did it?
No, I didn't ask him actually. The only reason I know is because he came up, he was in the... Someone else told me about him.
Yeah.
Because he was my cellie. He's like... Because I was like, I was complaining, like, I fucking cunt has a shower in the morning before muster. Fucking snaps me.
Okay.
Because the fucking fills the whole fucking cell full of fucking steam.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is like annoying. I said something to him one day. I'm like, bro, can you only have a fucking shower after muster, man? Like, so I get the fuck out. And he's like, I'm trying to fucking I gotta go to work. Fucking because he worked in the kitchen, you know.
Yeah,
Like, work at fucking 7 o'clock, cunt. And I'm like, yeah, fair enough. And then I was sort of complaining to someone else. And like,
pulling out his katana. Putting on his old ninja fucking.
Yeah, fully, man. This other cunt's like, man, don't fucking rev him up, man. He's fucking done this and that. I'm like,
ooh.
Oh, really? Fuck.
And when you chatted to him, you never thought he did that?
Nah, he's a chill. He's done 10 years nearly.
Oh, so he obviously changed.
He's just chill. After
how
10
was
years,
he?
you ought to be the most chillest dude. About 55.
Okay, so he's 45 when he did it. Jesus.
It's
a weird
he had a turf war with his cousin about. He used to drive like an ice cream van.
Okay.
And he basically killed his cousin because he fucking apparently because. Allegedly,
he took his fucking sprinkles.
Allegedly, because he was selling in selling in an area that he was fucking bagged.
Ah,
yeah, something like that. Anyway.
Yeah,
other story.
Ice cream turf war.
Yeah, fucking exactly. Right. Another funny story. This guy, he was telling me he apparently the Rockefeller case. He apparently was into wife swapping.
Okay.
And he allegedly stabbed this cunt to death and put him in a fucking willy bin because he is a willy bin murder because he went to do a wife swap and he goes and he didn't bring his wife apparently this time and the other guy's like, oh, he's like, look, it's right if I just fucking fuck your wife this time and I'll make it up to you next time, you know. And the second time came around and then apparently he didn't have his wife. And he's like, oh, look, you know, so I'm going to fuck your missus this time and I'll fuck my missus, I'll bring fucking 2 other girls next time and missus, you know. Third time's gone around, no missus. So
fool me once, shame on you.
Yeah, fool me thrice, stab you to death, put you in wheelie bin. And fucking him and the wife.
Oh.
And the wife stabbed him to death, put him in the wheelie bin, and they both got sentenced.
So they should. Both stabbed him.
Yeah, hair him up. Hair him up. And that was that. It was probably one of the most
Did you meet that dude?
Ones. Yeah. I used to work with him in Metal Fab.
Good dude.
He was a good cunt.
He was like, fuck, Steve-O, what's going on? He's like, nothing.
Good
like, hang out on the outside, I want to meet your wife.
He would have been 60 something. Yeah. I never actually spoke about the case in person with him because it was a bit delicate.
So you learn from each other. Seems that like the stories or what you did gets out, and then other people tell you. You know, it's never like. Is it like an unwritten rule that you don't walk up to someone and be like, "So what did you do?"
Yeah, like it's more just a bit like awkward, or it's like you don't want to talk about your fucking worst hour or the worst thing you did. You know,
when you told people about your stuff, were they like, "Fuck, man, it's unlucky," or were they like, "You fucked up, you're an idiot"? Fucking what? How did they take it usually?
When I first went in there, actually, some people were like, they were like, "Oh, my cousin was fucking fucked up by fucking something like that," and trying to like trying to fuck with me, you know. I'm like, fuck off, cunt, you fucker, you know. Like, the people try to fucking. So then after a while, I used to say, because I used to say I was in for reckless...
Tax fraud.
Yeah. No, I used to say I was in for fucking reckless causing serious injury and assault.
And they were like, ooh, bad motherfucker.
Yeah, a little bit like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, which I wasn't lying, and I didn't feel like fucking conversing more than that, you know. But most people will like just, if it's like drugs or something like that, they'll just sort of tell you about it, or, you know, it'll come up conversation. Yeah. But it's not like, hey, how you going? What are you for, cunt? You know, sort of thing.
You'll like need like a little card, like a little here's a rap sheet. This is what I did.
It's more of a pedo or something. Yeah. Or a bad rapist where it's like, I don't know.
Stay back.
Yeah, like,
so they are
doing here. So
they are public enemy number one.
Yeah, in mainstream. Yeah. Absolutely.
And they absolutely cop it. So they should, let's be honest.
Absolutely. That's the good thing about jail is there's that moral code.
And there you get. What is it for rapists, pedophiles.
If you're a granny basher, or if you're just a piece of shit in any way, people will find out, and the screws.
How do they find out?
The screws will call off and let them know.
Oh, really? So
and
the screws are
screws are good cunts. Some of the screws are good like that. They'll be like, get this cunt, he's a piece of shit.
But what happens if they're like, I'm fucking sick of you, mate. I'm going to tell everyone you fucked a kid. And then you're like, oh, fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if the screws
say that.
If the screws just decided to lie because you were pissed them off.
Yeah.
They were like, mate, I'll make your life a living fucking hell. That's the thing, because it is just word of mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys believe it, which is, I assume most of the time, it is correct.
Yeah,
But I assume that is a threat from those guys. They're like, mate, keep fucking with me, and I'll tell them you're a pedophile, and they'll kick the shit out of you, and you'll be like, all right.
Yeah. I
At least I would.
That happening.
Even I would, if I was a screw. I'd just be like, mate, fucking, listen here.
Yeah.
I've got the trump card.
You got the leader of the Banditos over here. You tell him, and he'll tell you all his Ditos, and then and they'll fucking.
Is there a heap of bikies in there?
Yeah, there's like certain
more than you
jails are
think.
more become like, orientated to a certain like affiliate or like.
Are they allowed to hang out? You can't
like
stop
the Finks were mainly in Loddon when I was there.
Yeah, who are the Finks?
The Finks, right? They were there, like, and then like I think certain fucking and then certain like gangs will dominate certain units in say.
So you don't fuck with anyone,
or in Barwon, in certain.
Who runs prisons? Is it bikies?
No, there's usually actual gangs that run the hardcore parts of Barwon and certain hardcore.
So they
parts
make
of
the gang in there.
There's like Power of White.
So
the POWs.
Nazis.
Yeah.
POWs,
but then they try to fucking affiliate with other fucking they shrink the numbers. They're not necessarily racist.
Did you ever think about joining a gang?
Nah, I was just pretty much just like doing my own time.
Yeah,
doing my own jail.
So you got to be causing trouble to get into trouble, unless someone really doesn't like you and wants to fuck with you.
Yeah, and
if you get unlucky.
Exactly. If you're a young cunt trying to make a name for yourself, and you get in the bad crowd, look, I could have potentially have done that because I'm fucking pretty fucking impulsive sort of cunt. And
I'm a Nazi now. I'm a Nazi. Your parents are coming to see you. Got a fucking swastika on your face.
Yeah, I can see how
this is me.
I can see that happens to people.
I'm just gonna quickly pause this, mate. Yeah. So if you want to be a trash bag and cause trouble, then you'll get into trouble.
Absolutely.
Assume it's pretty easy to get into trouble in prison. Say the wrong thing to the wrong person, as you did, and it's something innocuous as you cheeky dog, and he's like,
yeah. It's as easy or as hard as you make it.
Yeah. What's
100%.
is there any myths about prison that you think are like you see in movies or anything like that, and you're like, it's so wrong, like that does not happen?
Oh, look, maybe the stereotypical fucking American spec. Perhaps, which is just different to our system. Our system's quite good, I reckon. Like it's
I've heard the Australian New Zealand prisons are pretty good.
Rehabilitation, and such. It's grouse.
Yeah, isn't it like fucking 60 or 70% of prisoners in the US go back to prison? That's something really fucked.
Yeah,
the number's real high, and you're like, wow, you're gonna be a repeat offender. Stats are saying
it's they pretty much pigeonhole you into being like you'll struggle to make it in life apparently, but over here you seem to be able to come good.
Did you? I know we're kind of skipping a step here. When you got out of prison, did you feel weird? Were you like, fuck, there's too much space? You know, the cunt fucking hangs himself in Shawshank Redemption? I can't remember his fucking name. Is it Red? I can't remember his name. No, that's the main dude.
Epstein.
What? No.
No way.
Yeah.
He's still alive, apparently.
He could be in a fucking cellar. He's, so when you got out of prison, was it like, oh, fucking... Was it weird?
Man, it's the coolest fucking time of my life, bro. Like, I went to a bakery.
Did you still have your missus?
Yeah, she picked me up.
Were you like, we're fucking in the car?
Oh, man, this is so... I won't bore you with fucking fucking amazing that was, but just
amazing for 8 seconds.
Yeah, basically, it was the most amazing fucking dopamine hit I've ever had. If you know,
I can imagine so, yeah.
And it reminds me of how to stay motivated. For instance, like that my dopamine levels would have been my dopamine receptors would have been so undersaturated or so receptive that like that's why I was still so fucking frothing the gym and working. Like I remember getting out and finding a job, and I fucking just worked like a fucking Trojan, bro. You know, like, and just had a huge esteem for life and just conquering everything and doing anything I wanted to do was just get up in the morning and jump out of bed because I had a fucking bloody vision, you know, type thing. Because I've just been held back. I feel like I've been held back for so long. So now I'm fucking this. I'm just like slingshotting forward with all this energy, you know, type feel. And I was like, yeah, this is. Yeah, no,
I don't think a person who hasn't been into prison like myself would know what that's like to be free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've been under the thumb for like fucking. How long were you in prison for? So it was
20 months.
20 months.
Yeah, I did. So I did extra because I was a bit of a silly bugger, I guess. I don't know. They were a bit rough on letting people any sort of violent offence. They were literally keeping them in for at least a few months anyway. I think it was more to do with that.
So
even though I'd done all the programs.
So you'd done every program and stuff before you needed to.
I did. Even though I wasn't even an alcoholic.
Yeah.
I was drunk when I committed the offence. So I did an full AA course, got the certificate, a full violent offenders course, got the certificate. One of my mates who was in Darragul had to go back to Loddon to do that, because Loddon's the only place to do this full violent offenders course.
Oh, really?
I just did it. I had already done it, even though he was an actual proper violent offender that who stabbed someone, I think, on the outer.
Yeah.
To get in, and he didn't even do the course because he was like, didn't think he needed to do it, and I fucking just did it anyway for fucking shits and giggles, and I still didn't get out on my fucking earliest release date.
So they just denied your parole?
Just kept denying it. I think they
How often
it
do you go? Twice. And but a little bit to do with what happened with Jill Maher, I can't remember what was the guy's name, Adrian Bailey?
In essence, they were keeping anyone with some sort of violent offence in. They were just keeping them in for a few extra months.
Yeah.
Which is mine was 5. Did 5 extra months.
A long fucking time.
Yeah, like it doesn't seem like much. Like once you're in there, it starts to drag a bit because you're like, fuck, I'm supposed to be fucking getting out. But like, if you know what, you brace yourself. If you know it, because you don't know when you're gonna get out. That's the fuck thing.
Oh, really?
Like, you know, because I didn't know when I was gonna get out. Because I'm like, I'm gonna do my whole fucking extra fucking 3 years, or I'm gonna be 3 for the whole thing. I don't know what's happening. So that's what. But you know, when you know you're gonna get out at 15 months, you're sweet.
Yeah.
Or 6 months. You're sweet, you know, that's nothing. Like, you can do 6 months fucking like on your head, on your head, you know?
Because you didn't know it was a lot harder.
You can't brace yourself, so that's even more discombobulating in the sense, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not like the end of the world, I guess.
Well, I mean, you're out now, you're out.
Hey,
you're out and you haven't gone back in.
That's it. Never say never.
Yeah,
but
true. I haven't gone back in yet. Yet, alright.
Recalibration, yeah.
So you go into the recalibration that you mentioned before. Like what is that, as you said?
Mates and I we joke about just going back and recalibrating because it's like that boost when you get out, like I was saying before.
So
and rejig you learn you reorientate yourself with what's really matters in life. Like say training, eating well, having a routine. Those things are pretty important. And if you don't have that, you know, it's like you sort of fluff around a bit in life, and then like you say, work becomes too important. Those things become, you know, when you recalibrate, it's like you re-institutionalize yourself or re-boobinize yourself. So then you come out and
you come out better.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you're feeling out, you need to go back in.
It's like a drug, though.
Yeah.
It's like doing a drug. It's like temporary.
Yeah.
Yeah. The highs are temporary, and then it wears off.
How long did it take? How long did it take to feel like you were back? You know, you're sitting back after getting released and stuff, and you're like, it's normal. The novelty of being out's worn off.
Like the
Or how long does it take to get back into normal life, you know. Oh, I don't
It
have to get up at 7 o'clock now. I can sleep in.
Yeah, well, not much, because I was just keen as a flickable being to go and because I got the hard thing was when I was on parole, the first 3 months is intensive.
Okay.
So you have to go to 2 parole appointments a week, a piss test, and then you have to
Is it drug and alcohol, or is it just drugs?
Drug and alcohol, but you can drink.
Yeah, okay.
The tests for, I think they test for both. It's mainly drugs, I think,
Yeah.
But I think it's more if you're being an alcoholic and you've been drinking a lot.
Yeah.
I think they frown upon that or something. But you also got to do some programs and community service.
Yeah.
If you have a job and you've done plenty of programs in jail, which I ended up getting a job.
Yeah.
Quick, smart, and then so all I had to do was easy for me. All I had to do was 2 parole appointments a week and a piss test.
How do you go when you got a full-time job and you got to go to parole?
After a month, it went down to you could do 1 parole appointment a week.
Is it just like 10 o'clock you rock up at a building, do your piss test, have a little chat, and they go like, what have you been doing?
You know the Upside Down building in town?
Yep.
You go to that bugger.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the parole fucking office, where the fuck it is, on the 5th floor or something. And then it takes about 15 minutes. He goes, oh, what are you doing now? What can we do in the future?
Mainly meth.
Yeah. That keeps me going.
Yeah.
And then later on in the week, you'll have an appointment at Dorevich, like in town, or wherever the fuck, like the one was in opposite the hospital.
Yeah.
On my street, and you go in and do your piss test there. And then eventually I was down to, through my whole parole, I was down to 1 parole meeting every 2 months and 1 piss test every 2 months.
Okay.
So my boss didn't know until I was about a year deep.
Yeah.
And then when I had to do this fucking training course. And he's like, oh, I'm good to go to Queensland next week. I'll end up in 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks. And I'm like, look, I've got something to say. Tell you, I wasn't completely honest with I'm going to be on parole still.
How did he take it?
And he's like, he was good as, man. He's a good cunt about it, really good cunt, and good boss, and he's cool, and he let me keep going to the training course and got him. He was around as about it.
Well, that's good.
Which is super fortunate. And
because as I said, a lot of people would probably turn around and be like, all criminals are real criminals, you know what I mean? Fucking, he was doing something real bad, he was selling drugs, he was fighting, he was fucking burning houses down, whatever it may be. I think that perception is...
Yeah, we can't have...
People make a mistake, that's
it.
I mean, a lot of people would go to jail if they got caught, either speeding, drugs, like driving while on drugs the next day, the next 3 days after they fucking had a big weekend and stuff like that. If you accidentally ding into a car or a person or something like that, you're going to fucking jail. Like, you're getting in trouble. Like, it's pretty easy to go to jail if you think about it.
You're right. There's this guy who's doing same sort of whack as me, and he accidentally killed his mate from drink driving. And
culpable driving or something.
Yeah, and mandatory. And he reckons he was under the limit. Or something. And it was literally just a bad section of the road, and he literally had nothing to do with speed or the fact that he was pissed.
Yeah.
Is more the fucked road or some shit, and they judged by the tire marks that he wasn't actually speeding. He spent, I think, 200 grand on legal fees.
Yeah.
Apparently had to sell his house in Esperance and all this shit. And poor cunt fucking...
They still slapped
him. Through mandatory 2 years, I think. Mandatory 2 years for someone, but... it's understandable someone died, but I reckon he didn't deserve...
It's a hard one.
He might have been drunk. I guess he is drunk. So.
Yeah. like, it depends, I guess, different times. As you said, they threw the book at you because you had all the perfect ticks in those boxes and stuff like that. And there seems to be a flavour of the month. You know, it might be meth, it might be drink driving, it might be domestic violence. You know, they just pick something that happens in the news and they're like, well, we're going after these people this month.
Yeah.
And then that guy could have just been...
one king hits and...
coward punches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just... And at the end of the day, they are there to kind of look after the public.
Yeah. It is a deterrent.
Yeah, it's a big deterrent. You know, everyone would be fucking... My dad and stuff when he was young, he used to tell me about, like, writing off, like, 4 or 5 cars drink driving. He's like, man, we just didn't get caught. I'm like,
yeah.
He's like, cars were tougher. And I'm like, what the fuck?
My dad told the similar story.
Yeah, and you're just like, and they all fucking did it. It's crazy. My uncles and stuff, it was just like something they did, but then they changed the law for the better. Like, imagine someone crashing into you now in, like, the cars that we drive.
Yeah.
They'd be crinkled in and you'd be fucking paraplegic.
Let me you and the fucking airbag.
Yeah. Just bonk. I'm just going to check me fucking notes for 2 seconds. We've actually jumped over your last stint in the last jail, so minimum security, I guess.
Yeah.
So you go to, so you do how many months in Loddon?
I did about 8.
8?
Yep.
All good, it's pretty cruisy.
And then I did about a year, I think it was less than a year, just under a year at the minimum.
So
the farm.
So yeah, they always call it...
It's a dairy farm.
Yeah, it's a dairy farm.
Yeah, it's sick. It's fucking... I did the full dairy course. Then I did the AI, artificial insemination. I put my hand up, feel for the ovaries. You have to choose one ovary or the other and then put the fucking stick in and then fucking squirt the fucking artificial insemination.
Jizz.
The frozen bull fucking... I had to do bull milking. Had to actually... I didn't do that.
I was going to say, was this with a bull or was this a shower thing? Jeez. Well, that's pretty... that's literally the definition of hands-on.
I'll put that on my resume.
Yeah.
Like,
artificial inseminator.
Yeah, with the AI, I fucking put the whole dairy course.
I've seen that done.
I work in a dairy farm, like, easy. It's like, it's fucking good shit. Like, I get the milking twice a day, but it's fucking a lot of work, man.
Yeah.
But
it's... So when you went there, what's the differences between...
Wow.
So you said...
this raisin toast.
Oh, shit.
It is. Then you eventually you can get into your self-contained unit. There's knives, fucking everything there, and you order your own food and you cook all your own food.
Okay.
It's fucking pimp.
Really? It's like being out and you're not out. Yeah.
It is fucking... As for rehabilitation, transitioning back into society and...
That's pretty good though, because
unreal.
It's a big thing, because you were like, I've been cooking for myself. Now you get out in the real world and you're like, I cook for myself. Yeah, that's actually...
One guy got paralysed. I think he's only in for 6 months, and he got a fucking a cow, because it's a level type old dairy.
Yeah.
You have to part the cows and go in between them, and you milk one, you put the cups on, and you put the cups on one and the cups on the other, and cups off.
Yeah.
And he just slipped between the cows and didn't touch them and let them know. And
one of them freaked out.
Yeah, one of them kicked, and then he went down, and they fucking apparently just stomping all over him, and he got he was paraplegic. Got flown to the Shepparton Hospital.
Yeah. He got squished by cows.
Got squished by cows, the poor cunt. Like, he's going in for a fucking 6 months and got a life sentence, basically.
And that's why we fucking eat beef. They will take us out when they get the chance.
Oh man, heaps of stories in there, because I was in there the longest out of all my time. I was there the longest, and that was funny shit, man. Like, because I drove the tractor.
Okay. You get to drive a tractor in prison.
Yeah, like I used to drive the proper front-end loaded tractor, and like these old wild fucking prisoners would be like, "Oh, can you pick up some fucking salami and tobacco and fucking some?" They had drugs and shit in these little bags that their wives would fucking put at the end of the farm and shit.
Really?
Yeah, and they'd ask me to go pick them up, and I'm like, "Oh, fuck fuck, man, I'm fucking doing that. You fucking... So I did it like a couple times.
I like how you're like, I'm not doing that. Alright, I'll do it.
And I was just wigging out, and one time the screws would like come and check my tractor and check I haven't fucking stolen anything, and then they would piss test me and fucking random and all this shit. Like they'll do random piss tests, and if you don't piss, they'll slot you until you can piss.
Oh.
And all this shit, and then like that, especially because I was a tractor driver, because I could pick all this shit up.
Yeah.
And then one time we went down to the fucking strawberry farm. There's a strawberry section that's fucking heat. Because at Darringale there's a big there's a big orchard of apples and fucking nashies and fucking shit. And then there's like strawberries.
Yeah.
And I went out and picked heaps of strawberries, and like I'm not supposed to do this. I had a bag, like fucking a whole shopping bag full of fucking strawberries, man, and I took it back, and the screws come up, they're like, "Oi, lockdown." That was some code blue or some shit, fuck. And then so I went out to put the tractor away. And I can't remember what code, I can't remember the code it was, but I went to put the tractor away, and then they're like, "Oh, jump in the fucking," they put me in the screws car, like, "Jump in, we'll drop you off at your unit," and they were locking everyone up. And then...
You freaking out.
Oh,
You're
freaking a big bag of fucking sack of fucking berries, and I was sort of like, what the fuck? Like, they didn't say anything. I was like, walked into the unit, I was like, oh. Opened up my big sack, I showed all the boys in my unit, like, yeah, we like made jam and all this sick shit.
You never see that in an American movie, do you?
Yeah, nah.
You'd be like, we're making jam!
I can dig for strawberries and shit. It was unreal. I like the fucking, they used to make cubbies out there, like the cubby houses for kids.
Okay.
They used to make those, and there's a big massive woodwork section out at Darringale, and they used to make, in the metal section, they would make cow gates and all sorts of fucking farm shit.
It's crazy how much shit that prisoners make.
Well, apparently, yeah, they make good cash, I reckon, but then the whole woodshed burnt down. Apparently, I think they reckon the screws might have done it as an insurance job to, like, get a better fucking setup. But some people reckon the prisoners did it because we wanted to stop working, because when you go to the open camp prisons, you have to work.
Mandatory.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's this, they locked everyone down this time. There's this bellowing fucking epic, this big shed, man, full of wooden fucking shit, and the whole thing just went up. I was...
Were you just watching it?
Man, yeah, we could see the smoke from our unit, and we were like, holy shit.
Did does violence happen there much? Because it's...
Nah, not a lot, not that I... There's like the odd fight, but it's usually in the units. Most fights happen in the units, and then people sort of sort their shit out in the cells or in the units.
What's the sleeping arrangements like in that?
In Darringale, there's all one-outs. Except for there's one small unit, the intro unit, where there's a couple of like 2-outs and 3-outs. So
2-outs and 3-outs does that mean people?
Yeah, like 2 or 3 into a cell.
So you had a single cell for a long time?
It's mostly single cells there. They're not even cells, they're like rooms, bro. They're like little,
really?
like, so the fucking
room.
You
have TV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The TV, fucking, I swear my room that I'm renting now in Torquay is fucking the same size as my fucking cell. I shit you not.
Do you have internet?
No internet at
No.
People will get phones in there, sneak phones in and shit.
Oh.
Which is cool. I think
what's the best thing you ever saw got snuck in any time in the prison? Where you're just like, how the fuck did you get a trumpet in here?
The best thing was probably like a USB that you could clip into the TV, because some of the TVs you actually put like the old newer style TVs.
Yeah.
And there was like porn and shit, all different movies and sick shit. But if you got caught, you get tipped.
Okay.
If you get caught with USB, you get tipped back to Port Phillip.
Fuck.
Tipped back to Port Phillip. So
USB.
For USB. So I was like, fuck, this is fucking novelty as man.
Were you pretty good with that type of stuff when you partake in?
Not really, no.
I'll have a quick wank and then I'll give you USB back.
Well, you can get like people mags and picture mags sent in.
Oh yeah.
So fucking this is fucking
old school bag.
This funny fucking story where this guy, he was my Sally at Loddon. We used to call him Junkie Jesus because he looked like this boned out version of Jesus. So anyway, he fucking was on the bottom, I was on the top, because if you're on the top, you're like, if you're on the bottom, it's like your cell.
Yeah.
If you're on the top, you're like the new cunt,
Yeah.
I was just in the top, because he had the cell, for way before me, and he fucking found I had a fucking little stack of pornos, he fucking found on Master Jerry that I had him underneath my fucking mattress.
Yeah.
And he fucking had him out, man. Had a sock over his cock and was just going fucking hell for leather. And looking at me, and I walk in, and I'm like, Nathan, we chill, bro. Like, he's like, oh, fucking. And he's like, I'm like, oh, you're right, man. You're right. We're gonna play volleyball. You keep going. You're right. And then fucking when we running around to the window, like this window sort of here, and we fucking couple of mates and myself like, let's go around and fucking check it out, eh? And he's fucking sitting up like seedy cunt.
Yeah.
And we go like, oi Nate, what are you doing? He's like, oh fucking still sock on his cock. He's the weirdest fucking shit. That was the funny story. And then like people would make like fee-fees out of the fucking dingers. You get dingers at the medical centre. Where you collect your medication and your methadone and shit.
You're fucking a posh wank or something.
Well, yeah. Or like, if you don't want to get AIDS, if you want to get a bit gay and shit. You know?
Are you allowed to fuck in there?
Like, yeah, well, they like, have some dingers and like, and fucking.
Well, we've got
sex.
We might as well fuck.
Yeah, and we just like pick them up and throw them in front of, like, you throw them in front of your mate and be like, oh, you dropped something, bro. Oh, fuck it. Like, just to be a funny cunt. Or people used to make like fee-fees, we call them. You like put your fucking dinger on, wrap your towel around your cock, and then put it underneath your bed. Yeah. And it's like a fucking full fucking hammer and tongue.
You know, see, if you're listening to the podcast, you should probably just check out the minute 2:00. What are we fucking 2 hours 5 minutes into the podcast?
If you're into that sort of thing, it's pretty crafty.
Yeah. There's a lot of prison ingenuity.
Yeah, it's plenty of time to think of fucking type of shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk for fucking hours.
Bro, I could, yeah.
This is already the longest podcast I've had. I'm just trying to think of anything. There's probably a million questions that people listening would like to hear because there's just so much stuff. So you get out, let's say, all of a sudden they let you out of prison. You just go in for parole one day and they go, granted.
Like you basically you got your as soon as the screws give you your paperwork, some shit, sort of like the Blues Brothers when you get give you your shit, and then you fucking
give your harmonica back,
and then your brother picks you up or whatever. And then you fucking got a parole meeting, within a couple of days. Yeah, and then you just fucking, but then you're pretty much good to go life of that, like apply for jobs. You just got to keep them in the loop. No anklet. Like some people have like fucking GPS anklets. And I think for certain reasons, if they're a bit of a bad cunt or whatever. I think flight risk probably. Yeah, things like that. I was pretty fortunate really. I didn't have much issues. Like parole. Like I was saying, even parole was really hard at that time because they were fucking. Because of Adrian Bailey and stuff, so the actual parole was... How strict is it when you go in there? How much do they chat to you? When you chat to your parole officer, are they like, is it like an hour? Is it like 10 minutes? What is it? It's about like, early on it's about half an hour or half an hour probably actually. And then it's usually just about 10 minutes. That's like, how you going? You're finding a job, like, and you're all good. Do you need anything? You allowed to get the dole once you come out? Yeah, they give you a crisis payment. Like $200 they gave us, and then you show them the dole. Yeah. And you just basically hit the floor running, and you're at fucking ground zero. Yeah. And you're like, I'm back into fucking society. Start building your empire again. Yeah. Like some people. Like, all the things you learnt from jail, you're like, this is how not to get caught in the future. Some of the people I know, like they fucking had empires going on, and they fucking, lost everything from all their equity and everything was from the was apparently drug, or crime related. So then they lost all the shit out to start their empire again. It makes sense because they just go like the proceeds by fucking crime or whatever. Exactly. Yeah. They just take it all. I think we could go for about 6 days, man, but I think we got to call it because the camera's about to die and probably going to freeze to death soon anyway. Right on, brother man. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been one of the most fascinating podcasts so far in the Tait Talks short existence.
Thank you so much. Good luck with all the shit. You don't really need it because you've been out for how many years now?
About 5 years, yeah.
Yeah. So you're all fucking.
It's all good.
At least
now.
you don't have a fucking addiction problem or anything like that. So you're just addicted to the fucking gym.
Yeah, that's good.
It's just gonna be fucking. I've got to get in there one day.
You and me, mate.
Yeah, get fucking jacked. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you.
Peace, love, and happiness.
Thanks, guys.